for the longest time, probably 2 weeks now, I've been so single-targeted, single-minded on one particular way of doing things that when I was doing the spiral clock, my own spiral clock, this I think looks amazing. There's some things that I explored, some commands that I was not aware of. I tested them out. I figured out that I could. I think it'd be smart to create a 1, 2, 3, 4 quadrant. What I have right now is the background is changing due to the center coming down over here. I don't want to print any of that information, and I don't want any of this to be happening. Save, play. So here we have 4 quadrants, something that I've been working on for such a long time, and then all of a sudden, because I got so focused, I think that's the major part here, and for anybody who's new, this entire channel is for me to primarily understand programming via, well actually it's not, programming is the method. This channel is for me to help myself express my inner thoughts and feelings so I can learn, because I am very kinesthetic. I need to review the material and express it, and then after I express it, feel about it. And then that's the process of thinking for me. So I need to express it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Then where do we go from here? So I got so focused on trying to figure out how to make a clock one way, rather than trying to... Well, no, I didn't even know. I think that's a key consideration, is that I did not have any clue, any possibilities available to me at the time when I was creating this, that there was somebody who actually created something like it. Daniel Schiffman, or The Coding Train on YouTube, I highly recommend that you go check out his videos. They're all very professionally made, and he's actually a great teacher. So go watch that stuff. Go watch him. Go! After this video. And he's not making a clock per se, but if we were to watch, he's muted, it's not what he says, it's what's happening. He wants to create a double pendulum where there's one pendulum that's swinging back and forth and another one that's attached to that one, and while this one swings up, this one then sways, flow, and it goes down, and it's just two lines that are carrying each other's weight and etc. It's like a chain. If you dangle it, all the chains change the direction with the momentum and weight and everything. They all interfere with one another. I think that would be something really cool to do. But it's what's happening here gave me an idea to apply to my own clock, to what I wanted to create with my clock. I mean, there's many ways, simple ways of doing it. I'm just not aware of doing it yet. And I think I have an idea of how to get there. So what's going on here, I'll even slow it down to playback speed, 0.25. So he's changing the variables for something. I'm not too certain, cosine, A2, or whatnot. Sine and cosine. But what he does here is that the pendulum is swinging, and the second pendulum is swinging. They're not playing off of each other. If one moves one direction, then the outer pendulums will be based off its prior. If the outer in relationship with its prior, he doesn't have any connections with that. What I find fascinating is that it is consistently going around in a circle, and the second one is going around the center point, which is the pendulum's, which is the first pendulum's end. So again, each one is consistently going in a circle. That's what I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy, and I want to go through line by line, see his thought process. He's going to change a few things. I could go to GitHub, where the original source is from, which might be a really good idea. So going to, that would be better. Single pendulum video. Single pendulum video. Pendulum? Pendulum? Yeah, just pendulum. It doesn't look right. The single one was done in 2015. Well, that face, I didn't mean to do that, but 2015 was the first pendulum video. We're going to start with that one. That's a weird face to pause on. The second one was done in 2018. So I'm going to use the first one, Just scroll over here, see if I can get to a... It is spinning. I want one that's spinning. That it goes from left to right, left to right. I don't want that one yet because he makes an error. The reason I'm not going to be using that one yet is because in the code that he's creating, I don't think he creates a one that goes in a circle all the way. He just creates one that's fixed, and he goes through the mathematics behind it, which I'm very grateful for. Scrolling through it, scrolling through it. It does. Wait a second, I think I found a video. And then it... Yes, okay. It's exactly what I need. I just wasn't... I got too ahead of myself for a second. Okay. So what I was looking at is that the pendulum is already at the very top and it's moving down. It already went through its cycle. So when the pendulum on the left-hand side above Daniel Schiffman's head, once it gets to that point, it's going to come all the way back down. That's what I need. I need that formula, and I think it'd be important to... Lin is length. Why does he need a length? Bob. See, there's a lot of things I'd have to break down with this code. But let's take the challenge. Okay, origin.x. What is origin? P vector, the width divided by 2 and 0. Oh, okay. So, I think that was the number one thing I had an issue with. When I was creating my game a few weeks ago, my breakout game, I was using a vector. Here, I wasn't taking that into consideration. I had a vector, and a vector has an xy coordinate and a velocity and speed. I think there's two primary vectors, two primary variables that go with a vector that is different than almost anything else that I have created. I was just trying to create a circle. I wasn't giving this circle any other properties. There were no other properties other than just printing something. Because when I place a vector in processing, then I can manipulate the xy coordinates of that vector by also printing something on top of wherever the xy coordinate is, and that's why we were able to have a ball that was bouncing from the walls to the bricks to the paddle all around, because I was able to change the value of that circle, which would mean it's a vector being able to draw a circle over a shape over that vector, and the vector was changing. So I was looking at this through the lens of, I would say, the layman, which it's not bad, it's just this is what we're visually seeing on the surface, and then there's something deeper a programmer would need to understand, is that if instead of, in processing, focusing on the circle we're going to be printing on top of something, so it's not the circle, it's the vector of the xy coordinate that's going to have a velocity, speed, or direction. A velocity and direction for the xy coordinate. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Etc. So what I need is I'm going to start over. I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to start something new. And with this new shape, what I'm going to do is mimic what he's created by copying and pasting, but I'm going to type it all in. I don't want to just copy and paste it from a different website. I want to actually type it in. Excuse me. But if I was to figure out how to... GitHub, nature of code. This one's 3.4, pendulum simulation. I'm going to GitHub and seeing if I can actually just copy and paste it rather than... Yeah, that's a lot of information. Okay, so... 3.4 simulation in his comment section, or in his description box, that's the word. In his GitHub, he has the exact link to it, and then pendulum.pde. PDE is the file to call an executable file within processing. I believe that is correct. But if I was to go with NOC 310 pendulum, 45 lines, what is this? Huh, Make a new pendulum with the original. This is interesting. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, copy, paste. Play, save. Yeah, that'd actually be a good idea. Let's do. Coding trains. Pendulum. That's not how you spell it. How do you spell it? Pendulum. What? Okay. Pendulum. Save. Pendulum P, and apparently I need to also have the one that's before that? Pendulum, yeah, I need to have that executable file before I can do anything else. So I'm going to copy all this. Wait, there's an easier way. Open. There might be an easier way of doing this. But for right now, we're going to copy. Going back over here. This one. I'm going to create a new tab, and it's going to be pendulum. Save. Well, it's okay, pendulum. The class pendulum was created. That's why in this one, pendulum was being calling a class, and P is a value that we would put right here. Where is P? If I was to put find P dot get is depreciated. The method get from the type P vector is depreciated. What the heck does that mean? Save, play. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Okay. So that's important to know what's going on. Now, does it ever slow down? There we go. So it eventually slowed down, but once it gets to one side and then to the other, I want it to continue going. So there's a damping, baller, acceleration, velocity. Those two things I would need, I believe. Okay, so I need to think about this as a vector, is that velocity and acceleration. I think that's, if I have that correct, it's going in the x and y coordinates, either up, down, left, or right, in a certain speed. And then acceleration, I'm assuming that's just to slow it down once it gets to a certain point, and then speed it up when it's coming back down, and then once it gets to a certain point back in the other direction, and then it'll slow down, coming back down, it'll speed up. So the primary information that I would need from this, I don't need mouse pressed, I don't need that, background p.go, I don't need that in this draw section. Size. Again, I need the vector, but all this information, stop dragging, I don't need this. I'm just going to comment it out. Okay. Drag, I don't need drag. Void clicked, no, I don't need that information either. So, okay, process of elimination. I like where we're going with this. There we go. Save. So this checks to see if if we clicked on the pendulum ball. I don't need that information at all. So the methods below are for the mouse interaction. Good to know. Thank you, comments. Comments are amazing. There we go. So all this, commenting all that information out, because I'm again, my goal and objective is not to have anything click on it. I don't care if I click on it. So I want it to just go around in a circle in a certain degree. So what I want to do is I want to create the size of the background. There we go. Not 640. I want to create it by 1,000, 1,000. Let's just create exactly what I created. I'm going to create exactly what I have with the other program that I created. So I'm going to be manipulating his own code, we should get something radically different. Function clicked integer does not exist. What? Huh. 640 and 360? Okay. So what if I change this to 50? It might be very specific numbers of integers, or is it float? Why is it not allowing me to do? Oh, that's why. Okay, I understand. It's not this number. It's not the number. It's this. Okay? I don't care about this because I'm not going to do anything with the mouse. I just want it to continuously loop over and loop and loop and loop. So drag, the function drag does not exist. Good. So drag function, I can just comment that section out. If it is not dragging, yeah, if an exclamation mark in front of the variable, I'm assuming, or function dragging or something, if it's not dragging, then do all of this. So if I'm not, oh, okay. Void update. So what if I just comment this section out and comment this out? Play. Okay, comment that out. I'm just going to be commenting a lot of things out because I've already taken things out of the system. So again, I have no clicking ability. The thing that I want to change now is I don't want it to slow down or go in the opposite direction. I just want it to continuously loop. Now, he does in the... There we go. Daniel Schiffman does in this one and the double pendulum coding challenge number 93. He does put all of his thought process from start to finish. I may have to review that not on this video channel. Why would I not record that? If this entire channel is for me to help myself learn how to code, express my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and articulate them into a productive outlet, just like karate, baseball, or any type of sports, then it would be a productive thing to do it live with you. That is something, okay, that's pretty cool. So let's go through what he has here. It's one of the reasons I don't care about the... He wants it to go in one direction. I want to see it where it just starts spinning. There we go. See, it's exactly what I need. So why don't I just take all the information that I have right now and condense it? I do not need all the information that I have so far, so I can just delete it. So I can delete this. I'm not dragging anything. Anything that's commented out, I don't need that. I can bring these forward. That, delete. All this information, I can delete this. And delete, 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 delete. I feel like I sound like Light from Death Note. Delete, delete. No, he doesn't say delete. No, it's his protege. His protege does it. He's the real true believer, but anybody who is a radical true believer tends to take things a little too far. It's like, you did such great work, Master, Lord and Savior of everything. What I did is I took it even further. It's like, dude, no, I had it perfect. You were here to just continue my work. And that never works out the way that you want when you're dealing with true believers. For the human stance, true believer to take what you have and expand upon it. It's a good principle in theory, but I'm probably going way out of my comfort zone of talking about anything. Like, I might be, putting my foot in my mouth in that one. So the arbitrary ball radius. Arbitrary, T-R-A-R-Y, yeah, arbitrary ball radius. Why is it 48? Let's make it 50. You know what? Since we're just manipulating things, I might as well make this 1,000. 1,000. And for the pendulum, the new vector, the width is going to be Yeah, width divided by 2? No. What I want this is going to be 375. That's what I want. 375. That is weird. Okay, save, play. Let's see what this turns out to be. Now if I put 375, let's put width. Width divided by 2. Oh, gotcha. The XY coordinate. Okay, so what I need to do is to also bring this down. So the center point, that would make a lot of sense. So what I want to do is the width divided by 2, so it's going to be 500 and 500. So width, height divided by 2. Save. 175, I know it's going to go down, but I want to make this 250. Whoa, okay, let's make this 500. It seemed like it slowed down. Okay, gotcha. 375. So it's the... yeah. X, Y, radius. That's exactly what I want, actually. Yes, it is. Okay. So I am glad that I'm getting a lot of things out of here. So I'm going to... No. In the draw section, p.go. So the go section, the go variable? What is it? Go something. Go. Void go. Update/display. Update and display we still have. So go is calling these two things to happen. So the display, it is setting, what if I remove update? What will happen at that point? Gotcha. Okay. What if I remove display? Blank screen. Got it. Okay, so I'm just going to break it down a little bit more into the things that are necessary to get a circle, to get something that is floating all the way around. So the angle pi divided by 4, what if I change this pi divided by 2 and play? Ooh, okay, so the starting point, pi divided by 2, I think is where it starts at the very beginning. So let's do pi divided by pi. Let's just do pi. Whoa, that's weird. Okay, times 0.9. Play. It does not like to get up above that one section. So let's do 999. Play. Whoa, that's kind of... Hey, okay. So if I understand this correctly, is when angle pi is near angle is near to pi times 1, the closer the number, it's just going to stay there. It's literally balancing on itself. If it goes any degree to the either left or the right, then it'll start falling. So what if I change this? I would want this to start at pi. That's what I want to do. And then I would want to change the angle to, yeah, I would want it to start at pi, wherever that is, just the top. Let's just go with that. And what I would want to do is, in the update section, gravity, I want you to go away. So okay. I'm going to divide it by 4, so just starting a normal again, is I want to remove gravity. I no longer want gravity to exist. So when I press play, it should go in one direction. Gravity cannot be resolved to a variable. What are you talking about? Okay, so any place that has gravity, there is no acceleration that I care about. I don't care about acceleration if it has to use gravity. So let's do this. Gravity. I'm finding this one section. Any other place? These are the only two sections, so that should work. Just in a... Oh. Okay, so the acceleration... I don't want to be focused on gravity, but I still need to have acceleration. So instead of gravity, what could I use? Gravity was what value? Gravity was 0.04. Okay. So what if I make this 0.5? It still should go, it still should oscillate. I'm not stopping the oscillation process. I need to remove that in time. So what if I removed, so this was point, yeah. So I'm going to put gravity back, but I'm now going to remove the -1. Save, play, and hey, whoa. Now, by the way, that is how you create a metronome. That's a metronome. That is a metronome. So if I do divided by times 75, save and play, instead of a pendulum, we have a metronome. And if we could find a way where it just goes tick, 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 and doesn't zero in at the very top or the bottom, we have a metronome. That's hilarious. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna create a new one, because that seems like something I'd love to do in time, even if I'm not able to. What? Oh, file, new. Excuse me. Save, paste, save. And I'm gonna put in here, what did I call this? A metronome. How do you spell metronome? Metronome or metronome? Oh, metronome. Gotcha. Copy. Where are you? Nope. Gotcha. Metronome. There we go. Yeah, it just seemed really cool to me. There we go. So, closing that out, I don't need that anymore. So the -1 was to put it on its side at the bottom. What I want to do is actually just keep it upright, so I'm going to put 0.04. I want to see 0.4. I can get rid of gravity. That's one less thing that I don't have to deal with. The gravity divided by radius, divided by r. What is r underscore? Oh, the radius. No. So the bigger the circle. Man, this guy has really thought this through. Is that there's two r values. One that's an r and an r underscore. The r underscore, I think right here when we're calling pendulum vector, the vector is the xy coordinate, and the r is the length. Yeah, I thought it was the circle size. It's not. It's the length of the thingy of the string, the stick. So what if I increase it to 500? Would it increase or decrease that? So what if I decrease it down to 50? Yup. Okay, that's kind of cute looking. It's like a person's head bobbing. Now you could make a processing of stick figures just doing this type of thing, like little simple movements or something in each one. It's kind of like dancing, a little dance party. Again, that's one really cool, one reason I love programming is just I have an idea. Well, I can put it into I could put it not just onto paper, but I can animate it. I can make it lively. I can execute it. Now I need to make what I have as an idea or a dream or a goal or an objective, a desire. I need to be able to have the skill, even if it's not just the programming part, getting other people to do it, paying them handsomely, throwing monies at them and saying, please do this, finding something that they want that I can give to them. Maybe I could do something for them while they're working on that. I don't know, maybe I could just use my channel, my very, very humble channel, to promote whatever it is that they're trying to do, and then join together. That maybe programming in of itself is not something that I should be focusing on, but programming is a very important part of skills to learn in this day and age. Okay, I'm just putting a pin in that, letting that simmer. Okay, so what I want is I'm going to make this back into 375 because that's the same radius of the circle that I want the clock to go around in my original code. So 375 is the radius, or the radius of the circle. So if we press play and then save, wait, save, play. There we go. That's exactly what I want, but I don't want it to go in the opposite direction. So in acceleration times sine angle. So if I understand this correctly, is that something, either angle or sine itself, it gets to a 1 and a -1. What I want, so this sine, cosine, the position, position dot set and position dot add. Position, if I remember from my breakout game, position dot x, position dot y. So it is changing the values. Yeah, position equals new vector. Position dot set is a command for the position variable value for the vector it is. So this vector dot set, whatever this name is, it is the vector. And then we're adding an origin. Add origin. What is the origin? Copy, find, and paste. Okay, so there's some code here that we have to read. Polar to Cartesian conversion. Okay, make sure the position is relative to the pendulum's origin. Calculate acceleration. I don't need acceleration. I do. If I want it to go a certain speed, but I don't. That's interesting. Increment velocity. I don't want to increment velocity. Okay, arbitrary dampening. What if I remove that? No, let's do this one. Let's do little tiny bits, little tiny tests along the way. So it's not moving at all. A velocity starts from 0. If I understand correctly, it starts at 0 at that one point. We need to give velocity a certain value. So I'm going to put a velocity, that's the value, that's the variable name, plus, no, it equals, what was acceleration? Acceleration was that. Let's make this 1. Play. Oh, I need a semicolon. Save, play. That's trippy. Okay, so let's make this 0.2. Play. Nope, stop. Save, play. I want to get in that habit. I don't want to... Nice. Okay, so let's make this 0.02, and it's going counterclockwise. I want it to go clockwise. I'm going to click save and play. So the velocity... yeah. This is kind of cool. Now what I would like to do is I'd love to merge this code that I have available, and then, because I don't want a second hand, I just want to see the outside circle do it. So I could make it where the line is not printing. I don't need this line to be here. All I would want is just that circle to go around in that circle to go around in an outline circle. The circle to go inside of on top of it. See, that's exactly what I want. That's what I want when I to put that into my own code. But I'll even keep it just for reference. I can get rid of it, but all I need, so draw the arm, the ellipse, the fill, dragging. If dragging, we don't have dragging. Fill 0. Gotcha, black. It's going to be default white. So I'm getting rid of that because I don't want to drag it at all. So draw the ball is position.x and y. Baller. Oh, yeah. What I want to change that to is 20. I believe it's 20 or 10. If I go to my original code, my original program, the size of those circles was 20. So what I want to change over here is in not pendulum, not that. Baller equals 50. I want to change that to 20. Play. Okay, that's what I want. But it's gray. You know what? I need to get rid of that background. I'm gonna copy. So maybe just manipulating his own code rather than trying to take his and put it into mine. Either way would work. So what is working? What can I get rid of? That's the important point. So the position dot add makes sure this position is relative to the pendulum's origin. If I remove this, if I remove it, what will happen? Play. Huh. Okay, so what's happening here, if I understand correctly, is that the little circle is actually going in a circle. The dot is going in a circle. It's going in a circle, but it's going into the origin 0, 0. And that origin 0, 0 is processing's original spot in the top left-hand corner of the screen. So I have to change the origin of where that circle, the XY coordinate, is going around, which needs to be 5. So instead of just origin, what I'm going to do is add, I want it to go into width, not width, width divided by 2. Wait, what was origin? Yeah, origin.get. I don't care. Okay. Add, so the width and height. This should be correct. If it's not, then I'll change it back. And then question about it later. There we go. So the origin at where the XY coordinate is. See, but that, if I change the background, let's change the background color. Not to white, let's make it 150. What's the color that I have for my other program? 155. So I'm going to do 155 because I knew it wasn't 150. I just needed verification of like, well, what is that number? If 150 doesn't feel right. Okay, so that's good. Changing this fill of this line. What? Yeah, I could put this fill. Yeah. Okay. Put that above. And, oh, draw the ball itself. Gotcha. Okay, this makes sense now. I'm going to make this 255, make that white. There we go. Got some, okay, that's good. What I want to do is I want to make the stroke size smaller. I don't want any of it. If I was going to have it, I just don't care. Wow. No, let's make that 1. Play. I'm assuming stroke 0 is the color of the line, so we're getting a black line. Now, what would be really fascinating is that we can make it where every single certain rotation or cycle, depending on maybe sine or cosine, where it goes in the circle, is once it hits the top or the bottom, or once it hits a -1 or once it hits a 1, we change it. It goes through the spectrum. It goes through the entire color spectrum. So we get to see like this rainbow change of color on either the line, the dot. There's a lot of things that we could do here. Yeah. We can make it where it's every single time it goes around once, it changes color, and maybe having faster ones in the middle or something. So, okay. The XY core. So origin, origin dot get. Oh, underscore. Whatever we call for the origin here, which is the width divided by. So okay. So we do need to create that to be origin. So what's happening in here, if I understand it correctly, is that this class if it is a class, I don't know if it is a class, but if this class is, or function, pendulum, when we are calling origin underscore a variable, a vector, and that vector dot get, we're going to create another variable called origin without the underscore, and we're going to set that origin variable vector to whatever we set over here in the setup function. Man, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about it that way. It's pretty cool. Wow, there's a lot that I can learn. I'm good. That's a good thing. Wow, I never really considered it that way. Like, wow, isn't it a blessing to not know everything? There's things that I can learn, and even when I know everything in the universe, it's using your imagination to create things that are new. What a weird and radical and amazing way of looking at the world. That regardless of what you know, it's what you do about it that matters. Wow, it's like a truth. Some might say it's a truth. Some might say that. That regardless of what you know, regardless of where you are, regardless of what has happened to you, it's what you do about it that matters. So, if I know everything in the universe, if I'm not happy, how can I be happy? If I know everything in the universe and you're still not happy, if someone knows everything in the universe and is not happy, that regardless of what you know, regardless of what you know, it's what you do about it. It's how you act. It's how you express yourself. Again, instead of just trying to think about it internally, this process has helped me get to a greater understanding with both myself, emotionally, spiritually, physically. It's like, really, it's a simple process. You're just programming. It's not programming. Programming is like karate or baseball. It's a channel in which I'm able to express myself in a very structured and productive manner. I love that. It's phenomenal. And being able to not just do this, but to express it as though I am teaching you, or more importantly, communicating what's going on in here in a transparent way where people will be able to, and I hopefully teach them. Like, here's what I believe is right, here's what I believe is wrong, and if either of those two things are right or wrong in the opposite way, well then I can go through the process of changing it, and going through that process will hopefully be something for someone. I'd love it to be something for everybody, or for a lot of people, or for more than two people. But if I can help one person, great. If I can help two people, great. If I can help 50 people, great. Because it's each and every single individual or people or persons that I feel like I'm lying to myself, because I really do care about having the most amount of people possible. But I have created a very niche channel for topics that are probably not going to be known to the masses probably in a few years, and I would love to have the masses care about me. I really would. I didn't get that when I was younger. Not at all. I kind of like have a craving for it because I didn't have that that need, not a want or a desire, not a craving, but a need for social acceptance. I didn't have that when I was younger. When I was going through other things, I didn't have that when it was filled. Yeah. I'd love to have that. One thing that I say is that, you know what, regardless of your own faith, is that, Lord, help me help others. That's one prayer that I say at the beginning of the day, or end of the day, and/or both. And I've always wanted, like, hey, God, you're my slot machine. You're my token. You give me all the things that I want. And one of the things, it's like, well, even if I got everything, even if God is this thing, that's like, I want this, you're going to give it to me, and if not, well, then you're bad. No. Even if I got it, what am I doing with it? And that's one thing that really bugged me, is that, why am I wanting all these things from God, or from the universe, from spirit, from whatever? I want all these things. I want these cravings. Just give it to me. I was filling a chassis. I was filling a cup with no bottom. I was trying to fill something that would never be filled, that would never get to overflowing, that would never be able to be quenched. And it's like, you know what? What if I could just do something for somebody else? I find that amazing. What if I could do this channel for other people? it's not just for other people, because I can do tasks for other people, but I can be very taxed of resources and energy and care. I might not care about you. I'll do it for you. I'll do my best for you. But you better meet some certain criteria for me to continue doing it. If you're family, well, it's like, you know what? I hate you, but I'm going to keep doing it. So it's like, oh, okay, fine. Family's kind of like that one place where I don't really cross off any lines. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I think I expressed a little bit too much there. But if I can at least be something for somebody else, and again, I got that from Joe Rogan, and I needed that quote. That quote was very needed at the time that I heard it. You just need to be something for somebody else. You don't need to be something for everybody. Be something for someone. You don't have to be something for everyone. And again, I'd love to have hundreds of thousands of followers that are continually watching and consuming my content because I'm giving them something that they want, and most importantly, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. There needs to be a mix of that, but if I'm just bending, quote unquote, the knee to my fans, I may be consumed by what their needs are rather than filling my own. I might be creating a persona that I may not be enjoying. And even if I'm doing something that I'm enjoying, but it's not good for them, maybe I need to change my persona. So it is, again, that give and take, that I do something, is it perceived well? If it's not, do I care about it? And then going through that thought process of, here's a test, here's a test, here's a test. Now, how does this all piece together? And in a year from now, a day from now, an hour from now, I may realize the thought that I came up with is the wrong thought, and I need to change my direction. So it's always that change in the directory of wherever it is that I'm going from wherever it is I am now, based on the experiences that I accumulate over time. There's always new experiences. There's always new opportunities. There's always new of something. There are always new things to do. So this is pretty cool. I could end it off here, but I'll probably just go a little bit further. I'll be wrapping it up. So where am I right now? What I have accumulated so far is that what the process I've been doing for my clock, I was trying to do this. I was not using the correct tools. Without knowing those tools existed, I think I was very smart and / or wise at times, and very dumb and stupid at the other. Not dumb, but very ill-mannered at other times. I think I did pretty good. This looks, I think, very beautiful in a way. It's like, I created this. That might be the reason. But with this code, with Daniel Schiffman's, I took his pendulum and I shifted it a little bit. I changed a bunch of his things, and more importantly, with the comment sections that he has within his own code, he made it very easy to read. So when somebody comes to his code, I know what's going on. That's the importance of using comments. You can have too many comments and they start to just blur out in the distance, but having just a little note here of what is position, the p vector position of the pendulum ball, of pendulum ball. Okay, so the ball itself, or the xy coordinate, it's wherever the xy coordinate is. That is what position is. Origin is the position of arm origin, how long, or where the x1 and y1 is of the line that's connecting to that ball. Very simple. Again, I can piece it together, but all you need is just a little comment about what is r. It's the length of arm. Well, why would I have r instead of any other letter? I think r for radius I'll keep it that way because I think it's important to keep it that way. Man, this is pretty cool. Yeah. So, even one thing if I could share, like, hey, now we're at the end of me trying to figure things out. One thing that I would love to express is to learning from my own failures, which is something that I don't really want to continue doing. I don't want to make that into a section. I don't it's hey guys, now that we've done all this, you should not do what I've done over here. Maybe you could even learn from my mistakes and maybe even take them on and to expand them onto yours. Removing the most amount of failures and increasing the most amount of successes. Now, it doesn't mean remove failure. Failure is a phenomenal tool. If you're avoiding failure, you're going to fail. You're setting yourself for failure in the long term. If you're not exposing yourself to failure, if you're not going out there and just, it doesn't matter how much you accomplish. It's not how much fear you try to avoid or neglect or anything. Something needs to say, okay, I'm going to fail here. Okay, let's just get the failure out of the way. I hate it. I don't like it. It's frustrating. But you know what? It's got to get done. And when you do it, now you can do it more often. Because the majority of people, I need to lower my voice, because I feel like I'm going on high and pitchy. High and pitchy, not bit. Okay. The majority of people don't expose themselves to levels of stress that is very important to the success process. If you want something done, if you want to go and work out, you're going to have to put yourself through pain. People who continue to go to the gym don't think of 6 weeks. They think of continuation from that 6-week mark. That it's like, okay, now I'm going to implement this into my bedrock, into my daily life and habit. And if they're not at that point, how did they get to that point? What did they have to cut out? How do they feel about cutting those out? What method did they say that I'm no longer going to be doing this because it feels too painful to continue doing that? And then to expose yourself to that information. You got to condition yourself. Condition. You got to continue doing the thing. You don't just do it one day and then I am now a success. You don't do it for 6 weeks. If you want to be rich, wealth, if you want to have wealth, health, love, fame, fortune, and freedom, something that I've said multiple times in the past, that's why I'm able to say it so very cleanly, or at least articulatively and quickly, is if you want these things, you have to not think 6 weeks. 6 weeks is the check mark. Do you want to have the success of wealth, health, love, fame, fortune, and freedom? Any of those things or anything else that I haven't mentioned, if you want to have these things, do you want them for the next 6 weeks? Okay. What about the 6 weeks after that? Well, yeah. What about the 6 weeks after that? What about the next year? Oh my gosh. Now we're getting to territory where most people are not thinking and feeling in that direction. All you have to do is just minor changes in one direction. It might take a few years. It might take a few seconds. The majority of people don't try, thus they fail by default. Most of the people don't even try because they think it's too hard to try. And if it's too hard to try, I don't fault you for any of that. I don't fault you, period. It's the moment you start bitching, whining, moaning, and complaining about it, it's like, okay, why don't you change yourself? And if you're not aware of that happening, who am I to again, it's one of those things of if I'm judging somebody for their past actions. If somebody did something stupid in the past, one question that I had to counterbalance that thought process of whoa, I need to pull back, is who was the person that was supposed to teach them to not do that? Well, they were just supposed to. Okay, how was it exactly supposed to have gone in that particular way, and how would they have known? And when you start to dissect, in the past, I may not know all these things, or all the circumstances might actually be a bit more linear. You may not have choices in the past. You have made decisions, but maybe that choice was set due to what you knew at that time. So the more, not information, the more awareness of your actions that you get to take. Just giving yourself a little bit more options. You don't have to give yourself 20 options. You don't even have to give yourself 2 options. You give yourself 1 option. It's like, well, this is the only path I'm going. Okay, well, is there another option? Did you give yourself any other options? Did you give yourself any other paths that you could have taken? Now, if this is the only path that you see that it has to get done, that's very beneficial. But you got to make certain that the thing that you're creating, you're also cutting out other things. Because if you say this is the only path, there's no other paths you're going to be taking. Other paths might be easier to create that one thing. Oh, that's a really interesting way of putting it. Yes, I'd like to think so. I'm having both a conversation with myself and myself. I know, it's a weird concept. How's it a weird concept? I'm crazy. I'm nuts. Loony. Looney Tunes. I forgot. No, that's Itchy and Scratchy. I was gonna go with the theme song with that one. I'm thinking VeggieTales, VeggieTales. What was Looney Tunes? It's like I remember the song. I don't remember. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool that I don't really remember it. But this is really good. This was a really good session. Is that I got to explore a little bit. There were some ideas that I expressed. There was some thought process that I thought was correct, and even caught myself on saying some things that I did not mean to say in its entirety. And even if I meant to say them, maybe how they were conveyed was something that I was trying to be like, whoa, wait a second. Because, again, I've judged so many people. I judge by default. Like, oh, you do this or whatever. And then I even had to say out loud to myself, Timothy, shut up. It's like, just shut up. There's no reason for me to be saying that, because I was going like, oh, you, and I said that aloud to whatever it was. And there was no need for me to do that. It was the person with whom I was in the wrong by saying the bad thing out loud. The bad thing. Generalizing it. Something that was very derogative. Something that was very down-putting. They did not hear me because we had a screen, but if they heard me, I'd be like, wow. Wow. I just said shut up. I need to shut up. And then I started like, dude, I've had so many blessings. Why am I so... I was just in the wrong there. So, yeah. All you have to do is change yourself an hour a day. An hour a day of improvement. Man, programming has helped me. It really has helped me. It's amazing. I'm gonna be frustrated at times. I am a bit frustrated right now with it that I haven't had as much progress as I wanted. Now, I could go longer than an hour, but more importantly, to be consistent and to make certain to come back to it. If I can come back to it, I won. I've already won. Now it's now time to find new winnings. Because if I stop, then there's nothing else I can do with it. But if I keep going, if I keep using what I've known prior, well then hey, that's also a win. A new opportunity. That's something that I can also carry forth with that. So, I'll end it off right there. Thank you very much for being a part of this. Please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button because that would greatly help this channel out. And while you enjoy the rest of your day, I'll see you next time.